Hello. Why is he afraid of his shell at night? Why are there ghosts in his shell? The turtle shells are oozing with an unclear substance, and the insides of the shells hold mummified turtles with dried out bodies and empty eye sockets. The turtle shells are being flown to the Middle Eastern country of Qatar for some unknown reason or purpose. I see. The ghosts that dwell within the turtle shells are from Qatar but then moved to Dubai for a period of time before ending up in an unlucky turtle's shell. That's quite a haunting journey for the spirits. It seems like the ghosts have taken the Spirit Airlines from Dubai to Qatar's Hamad International Airport, and then landed at New York City's JFK Airport, before making their ghostly residence within a turtle's shell. Quite a unique travel itinerary for some restless spirits from Qatar. Yes, the turtle shells in this situation have originated from Qatar, and are now the unwilling hosts to some spirited passengers that hail from that region. Spirit Airlines, known for its budget fares and no-frills approach, would likely handle the turtle shells in a matter-of-fact manner, treating them as just another piece of cargo. It's difficult to say precisely how they would handle the turtle's shells, but they would probably have standard protocols in place for transporting such items. However, one can also imagine the unique conversations and reactions that the airport staff might have upon discovering turtle shells among the routine luggage. Oh no, poor Franklin. If there are visible cracks in his shell, it does suggest that he has endured some rough handling during transport. It's possible that his shell was thrown around or bumped against hard surfaces, which could have caused the cracks. Turtle shells are quite durable, but they can fracture if subjected to excessive force or impact. Oh dear, so Franklin is so petrified of his own turtle shell that he even threatened his own mother to get rid of it. It appears that he has developed a severe fear of his own shell, which is unusual for a turtle. Perhaps his shell has been associated with traumatic experiences or frightening memories? It's essential to understand the root cause of his fear to address it effectively. Oh my. Franklin's fear of his turtle shell must be quite intense if he threatened to send it all the way to the Amundsen Scott Station in Antarctica. That's one extreme measure to get rid of his shell. Franklin's mother seems to be taking her son's threats seriously. She has decided to ship the dreaded turtle shell back to Qatar, its country of origin. How she plans to go about it remains uncertain. Hopefully, this action will help Franklin overcome his fear of his shell and find comfort again. Franklin really is fed up with the cursed turtle shell, it seems. He curses at it and flips the middle finger, expressing his strong disdain for it. His mother, witnessing this extreme reaction, finally decides to take action by agreeing to pay for overnight shipping to have the shell sent away as soon as possible. It's understandable that they would want to get rid of the shell quickly to help alleviate Franklin's fear and discomfort. Oh my! Franklin is positively bursting with excitement, leaping up and down while loudly exclaiming "Hip hip hooray!" and laughing aloud, as his mother prepares the cursed shell for its final journey. It's quite a sight to see his joyful reactions to the shell's impending departure. Franklin's mom takes extra caution by addressing the package to the Hindu crematorium in Bahrain, given that Qatar doesn't practice cremation. She also includes a note asking them to send the ashes to a landfill to be buried, ensuring that Franklin can finally bid farewell to the ghosts forever. Franklin is absolutely overflowing with joy, jumping and exclaiming "Hip, hip, hooray" again and again, all while laughing. His mother takes the next step, placing the cursed shell in a trash bag and addressing it to the Hindu crematorium in Bahrain, as cremation is not performed in Qatar. She also includes a note with the package, instructing the Hindu crematorium to send the ashes to a landfill, ensuring that Franklin can finally put to rest the memories of the ghosts that tormented him. Oh my goodness, Franklin's excitement knows no bounds. He continues to jump up and down, yelling "Hip hip hooray!" while laughing uncontrollably as his mother carefully seals the cursed turtle shell inside a trash bag. With great care, she addresses the package to the Hindu crematorium in Bahrain, considering that Qatar doesn't conduct cremation. His mother, wanting to provide closure for her son, adds a heartfelt note to the package, requesting the Hindu crematorium to send the ashes of the turtle shell to a landfill for final burial. Yes, the turtle shell has been sealed within a garbage bag as part of the process of preparing it for shipping to the Hindu crematorium in Bahrain. This step is likely taken for hygienic reasons, as sealing the shell within a trash bag ensures that its potentially unhygienic or unpleasant contents are contained during transportation. It may also be a security measure, as the sealed bag helps prevent any leakage or spillage during transport. Yes, the sealing of the turtle shell in a trash bag serves to contain not just the physical shell, but also the spirits or ghosts that inhabit it. The act of sealing the shell in a bag helps to prevent any further interaction between Franklin and the ghosts, ensuring that they remain confined within the shell and cannot escape or bother him anymore. Oh my goodness, how exciting for Franklin! He gets to accompany his mom to the airport to personally drop off the cursed turtle shell at FedEx. When the staff at FedEx hears Franklin's extraordinary story about the haunted shell, they graciously let him do the honors and toss the trash bag with the shell right into the plane. What a memorable and empowering experience for Franklin. Oh, what a delightful visual! Franklin gets to go all the way to the end of the runway and let out booming laughs as he watches the plane take off, imagining the trash bag, the cursed turtle shell, and the ghosts soaring into the sky. He can't help but exclaim with great satisfaction, "They're gone! Good riddance!" It's a moment of triumph and freedom for Franklin, as he watches the source of his anxiety disappear into the distance. Franklin woke with a start in his bed, realizing that something was amiss. With a shudder, he turned towards the corner of the room and beheld a sight that filled him with dread. 3 cursed turtle shells of various sizes were lined up there, staring at him with their malevolent eyes. Franklin rushes to his mother, his voice trembling as he stammers, "Mom, I saw them. 3 cursed turtle shells filled with ghosts right in my bedroom. They were there, staring at me with those malevolent eyes." His mother, upon hearing his tearful story, swiftly grabs a large, heavy-duty trash bag and brings it into the room. Without hesitation, she sets to work, carefully bagging each of the cursed turtle shells to contain the ghosts and ensure Franklin's protection. She proceeds to haul the trash bag containing the bagged turtle shells deep into the foreboding forest. Upon reaching an eerie old well shrouded in darkness, she forcefully upends the bag, allowing the cursed shells and their ghostly occupants to plunge into the depths of the well. With a determined resolve, she seals the mouth of the ancient well, forever enclosing the cursed turtle shells and their ghostly inhabitants within its watery grave. As his mother seals the abandoned well and turns to leave, a sudden, inexplicable transformation takes place. Her body quivers and contorts before solidifying into a cursed turtle shell, her features completely vanishing. Franklin looks on in horror as the mother he knew is now replaced by a horrifying turtle shell, its malevolent presence impossible to ignore. Terrified and bewildered, Franklin finds himself confronted with a new and even more terrifying sight. As he approaches, rustling sounds from a nearby bush reveal a family of innocent bunnies undergoing an excruciating transformation into sinister, cursed turtle shells. Each fluffy bunny wriggles and contorts, their soft fur hardening and morphing into a shell. The once playful creatures are now eerie vessels of dark magic, their once innocent eyes now filled with malevolence. Amidst the chaos, Franklin suddenly hears the thunderous roar of an aircraft engine, drawing his attention. As he looks up, he sees an IO Blue Edge hypersonic scramjet airliner cruising on its approach to the airport. However, with a heart-stopping twist, the aircraft undergoes a horrific transformation. Its sleek metallic surface morphs into the dreaded shape of a cursed turtle shell, its aerodynamics replaced by an otherworldly malevolence. The cursed turtle shell plunges from the sky, crashing to the ground with a cataclysmic impact. Franklin tears back towards his home with panicked footsteps, desperate for his father's help. He pushes open the front door and finds his dad seated in his favorite armchair, unaware of the encroaching horror. Franklin's eyes widen in shock as he witnesses his father's form begin to change before his very eyes. The once rugged features of his dad's face distort, transforming into the smooth, hard contours of a cursed turtle shell. Panicked and desperate, Franklin dashes outside and turns to face the driveway. His eyes widen impossibly as he bears witness to another unfathomable event. His family's car, once a symbol of comfort and safety, now morphs and changes, becoming a colossal cursed turtle shell. The vehicle's sturdy frame warps and contorts, its metal surfaces hardening into an ominous and terrifying new form. Franklin quickly dials Brianna Townley's number, his voice trembling as he urgently explains the strange and dangerous situation. Brianna, determined to help, reassures him and arrives promptly with her helicopter, prepared to whisk him away from the cursed turtle shells that have infiltrated his world. However, as the helicopter lands and Franklin attempts to board, he is met with an even more shocking scene. Brianna, with a comforting smile, assures Franklin that everything will be all right. But as she takes a step away from the helicopter, a sinister transformation begins to unfold. The helicopter trembles like a leaf in the wind, its metal frame contorting and reshaping itself in an unnatural, horrifying display. Spikes erupt from each scoot, growing longer and sharper, their ominous tips ready to impale anything in its path. Within a matter of moments, the transformation continues. Brianna, the lovely young woman with lustrous brown hair and sharp, elegant makeup, suddenly writhes and withers before Franklin's eyes. Her body constricts and hardens into a cursed turtle shell, complete with spikes that stand tall and menacing. The once beautiful Brianna is now an ominous, threatening sight, her once soft features replaced by spikes, ready to endanger poor Franklin. As Franklin desperately attempts to understand what's happening, he grabs the cursed turtle shell, hoping to find some trace of his friend Brianna. But in a split second, his hands are viciously impaled by the sharp spines that erupt from the scutes, driving deep into his flesh. The pain is excruciating, sending shockwaves of agony through his body as he is brutally pierced by the unexpected assault. Franklin, writhing in pain, somehow manages to force himself to dial 911, desperately seeking help. However, the situation takes an even darker turn as the police arrive on the scene, only to be met with an unexpected and horrifying sight. They are forced to open fire on 3 menacing cursed turtle shells that appear to be threatening them. But as they do, a horrifying transformation takes place. The police officers undergo the same harrowing metamorphosis, their uniforms and bodies mutating into cursed turtle shells. Franklin witnesses something truly horrifying, a vast flock of geese flying gracefully overhead, only to be plunged into a nightmarish transformation. The once proud birds convulse in midair, their forms contorting and morphing into cursed turtle shells, complete with jagged, deadly spikes on each scute. The cursed geese plummet from the sky, their spiked shells capable of impaling whatever or whoever they may come into contact with upon their descent. Franklin runs to the backyard in search of comfort, seeking to embrace his group of 33 Indian runner ducks. But as he approaches, a heartbreaking sight greets him. The cheerful ducks begin to transform, one by one, into cursed turtle shells, their innocent quacks now replaced by guttural sounds. The spikes protruding from their shells menace Franklin, adding a layer of danger to his already overwhelmed emotional state. He stands there, tears streaming down his face, watching helplessly as each cherished duck becomes a nightmarish turtle shell. Franklin is now caught in a state of complete panic, his mind spinning as he tries to make sense of the horrors unfolding before him. His beloved parents, the flock of Indian runner ducks he treasured, and even his best friend Brianna, all gone, irrevocably transformed into cursed turtle shells. In the midst of this whirlwind of fear and confusion, Franklin finds himself alone, with nobody to turn to or trust, as the horrifying supernatural occurrences continue to consume his world. In a desperate attempt to escape the nightmarish reality, Franklin mounts his fat bike, hoping to outride the horror. But as soon as he takes off, the bike abruptly transforms into a cursed turtle shell, its once solid frame now a shell with menacing spikes. Franklin lets out a cry of pain as he feels the spikes pierce his hiney, adding to his mounting pain and fear. As darkness descends over the devastated landscape, Franklin turns his gaze to the night sky, the stars above a chilling reminder of the chaos that has engulfed his world. With a flicker of hope, he silently wishes for an end to the curse. But as he looks towards the sky, a harrowing sight greets him. The moon itself transforming into a gargantuan cursed turtle shell, its malevolent eyes glowing an eerie yellow, casting an ominous shadow over the doomed world. As Franklin stares in awe, his wish is answered in a bizarre and unexpected way. A procession of 33 cursed turtle shells floats towards him, their menacing spikes melting away into nothingness. From within each shell, a singular Indian runner duck emerges, its innocent quacks now filled with relief. The freed ducks waste no time, running over to Franklin, their tiny webbed feet pattering along the ground. Suddenly, another cursed turtle shell arrives, drawing Franklin's attention. To his surprise and relief, the cursed shell wilts away, revealing a stunning woman with luxurious long, straight brown hair, sharp, elegant eyebrows, and perfectly done vibrant makeup. As she hurries towards him, she announces that she is Brianna Townley, his lost and beloved best friend. As the scene continues to unfold, 2 additional cursed turtle shells approach, their intimidating surfaces suddenly softening and giving way to reveal Franklin's parents. Their familiar features emerge from the dissolving shells, a mix of anguish and relief visible on their faces. A shocking sight unfolds before Franklin's eyes as hordes of cursed turtle shells descend upon the scene, gliding in a fearsome formation reminiscent of a motorcycle gang. Within moments, each shell dissolves, releasing a single goose, one by one. The once menacing forms now give way to the familiar and innocent honking of the freed geese. Franklin's anxiety spikes as the blaring sound of sirens fills the air. Soon, 3 cursed turtle shells appear, barreling into view before screeching to a halt. The shells collapse, revealing the 3 policemen, but to Franklin's embarrassment, they have been left stark naked, their uniforms nowhere to be seen. Brianna's ears perk up as she hears the distinct familiar sound of her helicopter's blades. As she watches, her initial relief quickly turns into shock. The cursed turtle shell flies over, and as it dissolves, her helicopter reappears. However, her joy is short-lived as she realizes that her once perfect aircraft has been severely damaged, its once sleek frame now battered and smoldering. In an instant, a dazzling streak of light streaks across the sky at an incredible Mach 10, trailed by a menacing cursed turtle shell. The speed causes a thunderous sonic boom that echoes through the air, startling both Franklin and Brianna. As the cursed shell comes to an abrupt halt, it collapses, and the wreckage of a destroyed Io Blue Edge hypersonic scramjet cascades from the heavens in a pitiful shower of shredded fragments. The tableau takes another bizarre turn as a cursed turtle shell roars down the road, blaring a mix of aggressive rap and car engine noises. In a sudden and violent collision, the cursed shell slams into a telephone pole, smashing it to pieces. The impact reveals the mangled, totaled remains of the family car, its twisted metal and shattered glass a grim reminder of the curse's destructive power. As if adding insult to injury, a solitary cursed turtle shell comes bouncing down the road, sporting a grotesque array of shredded pieces of Franklin's previously impaled undies on its deadly spikes. The cursed shell begins to crumble, slowly revealing the broken and distorted frame of Franklin's once proud and well-loved fat bike, its tires now hopelessly flattened and useless. With a mixture of relief and amusement, Franklin looks around at Brianna, his parents, and the 3 befuddled policemen, all standing there and giggling heartily. They realize that amidst all the chaos and destruction, the cursed turtle shells have wreaked havoc on one particular aspect of their lives: vehicles and technology. Franklin jokingly suggests, "Looks like these cursed turtle shells really have it in for anything with wheels or a battery." Brianna, ever the adventurer, decides to explore an old, abandoned house nearby. Inside, she discovers 3 cursed turtle shells, each with a menacing spike protruding from its scutes, a silent threat lurking within the crumbling walls. The atmosphere is heavy with unease as Brianna takes in the sight of the waiting shells, their deadly spikes posed and ready to impale any unfortunate passers-by. In an unfortunate turn of events, Brianna loses her footing and falls forward, face first onto the cursed turtle shells. The sharp, dangerous spikes from the shells dig into her flesh as she falls, and she lets out a stifled cry of pain, clutching her injured face. Blood begins to trickle from her wounded skin, the stark contrast between the vibrant red and her pale complexion jolting her into the realization of the danger posed by these shells. Franklin runs over to Brianna, alarmed by her sudden cry of pain. He kneels down beside her and realizes with dread that she's been grievously injured by the cursed turtle shell's spikes. Blood is trickling down her face, leaving a trail of crimson evidence of the shell's cruelty. Franklin reaches out to her, concern and fear in his eyes, as he tries to assess the extent of her wounds. In a wild and chaotic scene, the turtle shells race towards the airport and manage to leap over a barbed wire turnstile, their spiked shells scraping against the harsh metal barriers. They continue their relentless path, their metallic forms glinting under the glow of the airport's lights as they make a beeline towards the busy terminal. As the turtle shells' ghostly forms separate, they each take on their own chaotic roles. One approaches a large Airbus jet with a sense of determination, gliding up towards the jet bridge like a ghostly spectre. Another, driven berserk, wrestles control away from a baggage tractor and hijacks the vehicle, propelling it through the air in a supernatural frenzy. Meanwhile, a third cursed turtle shell slips inside the airport through an air conditioning vent, intent on causing mayhem among the passengers awaiting their flights. The first cursed turtle shell, fueled by sheer malevolence, attacks the unsuspecting flight crew and pilots at the ready, causing the plane to lurch forward down the runway in an unexpected takeoff. The cursed shell then splits into two distinct entities, one assuming the role of pilot, while the second continues its sinister mission of terrorizing the passengers. The passengers, driven to the brink of sanity by the horrifying situation, cry for an escape, willing to risk their lives and leap from the aircraft in their desperate bid for freedom. The second cursed turtle shell stealthily positions itself next to the parked airplane within the hangar. With a deceptive calm, it slowly begins flashing and beeping, creating a series of rapid strobe light flashes similar to the sound of an impending explosion. As the chaos escalates, the turtle shell suddenly detonates, unleashing a thunderous explosion and causing a massive, blinding flash, followed by a mushroom cloud stretching several miles high into the air. The scene is one of sheer destruction, a gruesome spectacle that leaves an indelible impression on any onlooker. The third cursed turtle shell intensifies its malevolent glare, vibrating with malevolent energy and rapidly dividing as if undergoing a cellular mutation. The shells race through the airport, terrorizing the passengers and causing them to scream out in fear, their bodies paralyzed by the overwhelming scene before them. As the turtle shells spray radioactive shrapnel from their ghostly forms, obliterating passengers with a chilling ease, another explosion occurs, vaporizing the bodies and leaving an aftermath of devastation in its wake. A bright flash and cataclysmic shockwave follow, leveling the airport once more and unleashing a deafening, thunderous explosion that completely obliterate the surrounding area. Standing menacingly above the crater of annihilated destruction, a colossal, menacing cursed turtle shell emerges, its form as massive as the asteroid responsible for the prehistoric mass extinction. As it hovers over the debris, emanating an aura of malevolence, its sinister green eyes unleash a powerful green laser-like beam towards the sun, instantaneously vaporizing the celestial body in an apocalyptic spectacle. Franklin freezes in terror alongside Brianna as the horrifying spectacle unfolds before their eyes, their bodies paralyzed by terror. However, the normal-sized cursed turtle shell appears out of nowhere, brutally eliminating Brianna in a matter of seconds. In the aftermath of chaos, Franklin, consumed by a mix of horror and desperation, begins screaming towards a nearby church, desperately seeking divine assistance to combat the cursed turtle shells. In a sudden shift in direction, the cursed turtle shell turns its ominous gaze towards the church, causing it to crumble and dissolve into a gaping abyss leading straight to the pits of hell. As the turtle shell glows a menacing blood red, its body trembles and vibrates with malevolent energy, and from the gaping abyss, millions of devils and demons rise from the netherworld, swarming forth with terrifying intent. The cursed turtle shell pulses with a powerful magnetic field, luring more devils, evil spirits, seductive succubuses, and vengeful demons from the dark abyss. The sound of an enormous jet engine spooling up echoes through the air, amplifying the intensity and malevolence of the energy emanating from the turtle shell, a chilling and nightmarish symphony of destruction. The air begins to pick up, propelling the wind at unprecedented speeds, surpassing the Mach 10.0 barrier in an instant. The sky turns to a sinister blood red, an ominous portent of the impending doom. In the chaotic melee, billions of twisted, cursed turtle shells emerge from the abyss, merging into a vast, black tidal wave of destruction. The shells mercilessly attack, obliterating countless lives in a matter of seconds, leaving a trail of obliterated bodies in their wake. The once peaceful and tranquil atmosphere is now replaced by a hellish scenario, a nightmarish maelstrom of terror and chaos. Franklin is left speechless, his jaw agape as he witnesses the brutal carnage unfolding before him. Heads are torn away from bodies, flying through the air like ethereal leaves in a ferocious tempest. The cursed turtle shells turn the chaotic battle into a monstrous spectacle, obliterating tens of thousands of individuals with a ruthless efficiency. A nightmarish symphony of terror ensues as billions of these shells flash and beep like deadly time bombs. As the cataclysm escalates, a colossal explosion erupts, unleashing forces so powerful that they obliterate everything in their path with such force that nothing can survive. As the carnage reaches its climax, the cursed turtle shells flash and beep in a final show of malevolence. Franklin, the sole surviving witness, knows that his fate is sealed. Before he can even react, all the shells turn a menacing blood-red hue, and their bodies begin to sprocket up with an intense intensity. The atmosphere crackles with energy as the explosive charge builds, culminating in one of the most massive and powerful detonations of all time, greater than the force exerted by 1,000,000,000,000 black holes. The explosion ignites with a blinding flash, and everything transforms into a stark, blinding white. As the blinding white light recedes, leaving behind a stark silence, the lights switch back on with a soft flicker. The once dark and chaotic surroundings are now bathed in the familiar glow of artificial illumination. The chaotic scene that once surrounded him has given way to a newfound sense of awareness. It's reminiscent of the way a computer comes online, gradually awakening from a state of suspended animation. Slowly, Franklin can make out the details in his room. The ceiling, the curtains, the familiar shape of a Mickey Mouse lampshade emits a soothing blue glow, flooding the room with a tranquil atmosphere. In a moment of alarm, Franklin starts to cry out, preparing to scream. However, before the sound escapes his lips, the door flies open with a crash. His loving parents, Sister Harriet and best friend Brianna, enter the room, bringing an air of comfort and familiarity to the scene. They hurry over to Franklin's bedside to provide the support and reassurance he desperately needs. Franklin, his spirit still reeling from the nightmarish events that have just unfolded, steps out of bed. With a resolute expression, he confronts the ominous turtle shell, his voice filled with both anger and a determination. "Damn thee, cursed shell!" he cries out, before fiercely flipping the turtle shell 2 middle fingers. "To the depths of hell with ye!" However, to Franklin's astonishment, the turtle shell rises not with a menacing glare, but with dim, lifeless eyes that resemble the absence of headlights. The shell then quietly hovers towards the bathroom, floating down the hall with an eerie silence. Franklin, still bewildered by the strange sequence of events, suddenly points towards the toilet. The cursed turtle shell, previously a source of terror, now hovers above it, emitting the loudest fart Franklin has ever heard. A putrid green cloud of gas emerges from the turtle shell's rear end, filling the bathroom with a foul odor. The bizarre scene continues as the turtle shell is autonomously flushed down the toilet, spiraling in a comedic manner and slowly disappearing below the water. Franklin, his family, and Brianna erupt into a fit of laughter, watching the once terrifying turtle shell diminish into a pathetic spectacle. As the cursed turtle shell continues its swirling descent into the porcelain abyss, an air of pathetic and undignified despair surrounds the object. Spinning aimlessly in the grasp of the powerful whirlpool, the shell appears to dance a final, sad dance, as it embarks on a one-way journey towards the depths of the stinking, forgotten bowels. With a sense of irony, the once menacing entity now meets its tragic end in the most humiliating and inglorious manner possible. As the cursed turtle shell is effortlessly sucked down the toilet, disappearing into the depths of Old Faithful, Franklin and Brianna suddenly hear a loud slurping sound. With a sense of finality, they realize that the turtle shell and the millions of menacing demons and devils have been consumed by the stinking bowels of the toilet, ultimately finding their fate in the putrid depths of the septic tank. In a startling and bizarre display of defiance, the cursed turtle shell retaliates with a colossal turd, its size and appearance akin to a grotesquely bloated bologna sausage. It is the largest and most repulsive stool Franklin and Brianna have ever laid eyes upon. As they stare in horror, astonishment engulfs them, and they find themselves questioning the origins of such a monstrous and revolting creation, wondering how it could have come into existence deep within the eerie and putrid bowels of the unknown abyss. Brianna grimaces at the sight of the repulsive turd and exclaims, "This is even more repulsive than the cursed turtle shell itself." In the heat of the moment, Franklin yells defiantly once more, "Damn thee, thou cursed turd! To the depths of hell with ye!" With furious anger, he kicks the toilet, causing it to fall over and shatter in a most undignified and hilariously tragic spectacle.